I'm 163-92 on the year. I'm actually just realizing right now that I didn't do the math to see what my percentage is. So 255 games, 163 divided by 255. 64%, been holding still at about 64% all year. I think my highest was about 67 or 68%. Let's go ahead and get into the week 18 picks. I'm taking the Steelers over the Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are resting their starters, rightfully so. 13-3, best team in the league. I've already locked up the 1 seed. Of course, we talked about the rest versus Russ versus with Lamar. Steelers probably going to win this game. If the Steelers lost, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised because Baltimore is a very sound team, and maybe they pull something out of their depth chart that no one's seen all year because they haven't had to because certain positions have been healthier. I'll take the Colts over the Texans. So there's key players on both injury reports for sure. There's more role players on the Texans with Noah Brown, Laramie Tunsil, Robert Woods, Will Anderson. They're all on the injury report. So that's going to be a little skeptical there. And the Colts have just been playing really solid football. Shane Steichen is 1,000,000% a Coach of the Year candidate. I've been talking about that as well. D'Amico Ryans also could be. The Colts are going to be nasty when Anthony Richardson comes back next year, but I will take the Colts over the Texans here. I'm going to take the Jags over the Titans. Will Levis is ruled out for this game. Trevor Lawrence is questionable as well. There's a ton of people on the Titans injury report, though, over the Jags. I like the Jags better as a team and with the coach, of course, in Doug Peterson as well. I don't think Trevor Lawrence should play this game. He really hasn't been healthy since he came and played the Saints in the middle of the season. He was on a bum ankle at that point as well. So I don't want him to continue to play banged up because he did just miss his first game in his NFL career, and there's really no reason in playing this game if you ask me. But I'll take the Jags over the Titans. I'll take the Lions over the Vikings. The Vikings have already ruled 6 people out for this game. More of them are questionable. Blackman, Murphy, O'Neal. Those are the main ones that are out for Minnesota. CJ Gardner-Johnson actually might be able to return from his injury that he had back in week 2 with the torn pectoral. He had to undergo surgery. And of course, there's no surprise that he's frustrated with his rotational role as a safety. That's what got him booted out of New Orleans and Philadelphia. And realistically, I guess he just won't learn as we see that attitude is something that continues to ramp up for him. No Jameson Williams for the Lions as well. Now, I think this could be a sneaky game. I really do think that this could be a sneaky game because for some reason the NFC North, I always remember, especially last few years watching football, like the Lions and the Vikings, the Packers and the Bears, those 4 teams just always played to the death in the last week of the season. But I'll take the Lions over the Vikings here. I'm going to take the Saints over the Falcons. Again, I want the Saints to lose this game, but I will take the Saints over the Falcons. I just think the Saints are slightly better team, slightly better quarterback. I'd probably take over Smith over Dennis Allen, but hell, maybe not by much. Losing to the Panthers, losing to 3 straight backups, at some point in the season for Arthur Smith. We've heard the Falcons fans and even me calling for them to be fired. I'll take the Jets over the Patriots as well. Patriots have been such a sorry football team this year, fortunately, unfortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. Jets do just released Dalvin Cook a couple days ago. Both of these teams are pretty putrid over in the AFC East. This matchup really won't mean anything, but the Jets do feel like, and realistically have been the better team all year. I'll take the Bucs over the Panthers. I need the Panthers to win this football game as a Saints fan in order for my Saints to make the playoffs. I really don't need them to win, but if the Saints want to get into the playoffs, because I want the Saints to lose the game, the Saints need the Bucs to lose to the Panthers. Bucs have been the better team all year, probably the best team in the division all year. The Panthers have just been very bad. Baker Mayfield might get that extension. He's played well and has a chance to go and be in the playoffs, maybe host a playoff game. I'll take the Browns over the Bengals. Browns, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Joe Flacco is playing his life out. I really appreciate the depth chart that the Browns have gotten creative with to bring out some of their best players. This defense is one of the best in the NFL. Now, the Bengals have been playing sneaky good football as well. Jake Browning subbing in for Joe Burrow after the injury, of course. We've seen the Bengals under Zach Taylor be able to be kind of surprising. Not a little explosive on offense, but hang with some of the teams in the NFL that they've played with, and really they've impressed me with how they've been able to play so far. But I will take the Browns over the Bengals here. I'll take the Packers over the Bears. This will be another sneaky game, no question. This will be another sneaky game, no question about it. I think every single game is a divisional game. Yep. Love that. Packers over Bears will be sneaky. Bears have actually been quietly on a heater, coming up to a 7-9 record, surprisingly enough, and they're going to be a team that was able to at least be the middle of the pack, actually have that first overall pick in the NFL draft. And it will just be wild to see what the Bears do with it. Do think the Packers are the better team. Jordan Love's been impressive this year, 30 touchdowns, around 10 interceptions, over 4,000 yards. The Packers just continuing to have that quarterback whisperer mentality, and clearly it's paying off for them. But the Packers should win this game. And again, if the Bears do sneak around and maybe win this one, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll take the Cowboys over the Commanders. They smacked them earlier in the year. I think they'll smack them again. Commanders have been a big disappointment. The Cowboys are a juggernaut. On to the next game. Broncos over Raiders. Russell Wilson's not playing. Who knows how Sean Payton might coach in this one. The Raiders are just being the Raiders. They're going to try to play their asses off in the final divisional game of the year. The Denver Broncos, though, are the better team. They should win this game, but again, without Russ playing, don't really know how things are going to fare out. They do end up winning last week, not by much, though. Again, a meaningless divisional game for both of these teams to end the year. The Eagles over the Giants. The Eagles should win this one handily. Now, Tommy DeVito and the Giants over there could come in for the upset because we've seen the Eagles struggle over the last month of the season. The defense is very porous. The play calling offensively is not very good. They're not getting their key players involved. I just talked about what needs to happen for those key players to really, or not for those key players, what every NFL playoff contender needs to actually be able to, go on and win the Super Bowl. Don't think the Eagles are going to be that type of team, but I will take the Eagles over the Giants. Seahawks over the Cardinals. Need the Cardinals if the Saints want things to happen. They need the Cardinals too. See, I'm trying to talk myself out of saying that I want the Saints to win. You see how odd that is for me to pull my words back because I always want this team to win, but y'all heard how I feel about them, man. First time all season that I'm happy whether we win or lose. Seahawks over the Cardinals, better team. Kyler Murray's been playing, coming back from the injury. Of course, we've seen a little bit of struggling from the Seattle Seahawks this year, underperforming in some aspects. We expected them to be a better team. They are a better team than the Cardinals, and they should win this one. I'm going to take the Rams over the Niners as well. San Francisco starters are resting in this one, and no question as to why they are. They want to be healthy for the playoffs. They are that number one seed. They are going to have that home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Now, the Rams also were in the playoffs as well. So I can see the Rams resting their starters too. I don't know if the Rams are locked in at their seed, but Sean McVay has a very good case at coach of the year. What he's done is very impressive with a Kyron Williams, Puka Nakua, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, some of those guys coming back off injuries as well. He could have coached better at other points in the season, but a couple of games go their way and they could easily be a 10-win team. And I did not see the Rams being that at all. And for the final game of the week, I'll take the Chiefs over the Chargers, despite Kansas City resting their players, Mahomes, Kelsey, Pacheco. We know Kelsey's going to be in, so he can get his either 8 or 9 straight seasons as 1,000 yards for a tight end. Really with the Chargers just not having a head coaching presence, not having a quarterback presence as well, with Easton Stick being in there, I don't trust them to be able to beat the Chiefs in the last game of the season. Now, Mahomes, again, is going to rest. Chargers could win for sure, but I definitely feel like the Chiefs are going to pull this one out.